Hello everyone and welcome back to Checkpoint Corner. I'm your host Ryan, and with me as always I've got Tyler.
Hello.
And Matherin.
Hey there.
This topic, continuing from our topic from last week where we talked about games we think that are overrated, we're going to be talking about games that we think don't get as much love, some underrated games. So it's a little special, but before we get into that, how are you guys doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah? Have you been playing any games this week?
Mostly Ghost of Tsushima. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I love the game so much. I'm trying to 100% it.
Yeah, it's a really good game. It is.
Yeah, I have almost 100% of that a while back, but I've just been playing a ton of like Valorant and whatnot.
Yeah.
I've been playing. There's this game that got added to Game Pass recently. What was it called? Like Trek to Yomi or something like that. It's pretty cool.
I've not heard of that.
It's kind of like Ghost of Tsushima just because it's Japanese. It's the only similarity. But you do like, it's like a 2D, kind of 2D-esque, like, where you just kind of walk around and fight bandits and stuff. It's focused on like sword play and countering and stuff like that. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe
So
I'll check it out.
I'll probably finish it this week. Maybe give more of my thoughts next week. But there was some pretty exciting stuff that I want to talk about before we get into our topic again. So the Dead Space remake got a release date announced.
Oh, wow. Let's go.
So, and they showed a bit of footage. But yeah, it's set to release on January 27th of next year.
Oh, okay.
2023. But knowing video games, I think that's going to be delayed.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, they showed the footage and it looks really good, but I'm just worried that it doesn't need a remake.
It really doesn't.
Because like,
I mean, for people like me.
like, I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong. But like, it's kind of like when they're I guess making this Last of Us remake for a PS5. I just feel like you don't really need a remake of The Last of Us.
Yeah, that feels very unnecessary.
Yeah, so I hope it doesn't get turned into that. But speaking of games that might be delayed, some games that did get delayed is Starfield got delayed.
Of course.
So it's not coming out this year. It's coming out next year.
But
I kind of expected that.
Yeah. We'll probably get more news on that in the Xbox showcase. Games are just always getting delayed now. It's just the normal.
Yeah.
to expect. But I guess, do you guys want to jump into our topic?
I'm down.
Yeah. Who wants to start?
I'll start since I made my list last week thinking that we were talking about underrated games, but now I get to talk about it.
Yeah.
The first one on my list is the Devil May Cry reboot game, DMC Devil May Cry. I did make a video about this. I think it gets a little too much hate. It's kind of irrelevant now that they're just continuing the timeline of the first few Devil May Cry games that came out. So you don't. But I still think it's really fun. I really like Ninja Theory as a developer, and the whole like psychedelic levels, and they get really creative with a lot of imagery and stuff. Like there's this level where I think it's like this casino, like, and the bosses are really fun, but it gets a little. They tried to make it too eggy and not really campy. They didn't find the right balance, so they tried to. In trying to make it realistic, it turns into kind of like bland. So
yeah.
It's I don't think Dante's as like charming, but I still had a lot of fun with it.
I haven't played it, so I can't really say. I played the other Devil May Cry games. I loved the fifth one. That's my favorite one.
Yeah,
but
I haven't played any of them.
I almost love all the Devil May Cry games. One's great. 3's pretty fun. That's really hard.
I don't think I finished 4 actually.
I finished 4, but I don't remember anything about it. And it's the one I beat most recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, DMC, I think it's underrated, but I'm not going to go into too much detail just because I made a video about it, so it's on my channel if you want to watch it. Tyler, what's yours? Your first one.
My first one, I don't really know if it's underrated, but like I haven't heard a lot of talk about it. I said Hellblade. Because I would not have known this game existed if it wasn't for you, Ryan, pointing it out. Because I've heard nothing like of anyone talking about it, but I really like this game. I'm excited for the sequel. That got delayed.
That game's got a lot of praise for it coming out. So I don't.
Yeah, probably.
It's probably just more people needs to play it because it is a really well-regarded game, and it's one of my favorite
Yeah,
games of all time.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not poorly received, definitely, but I think more people need to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely people should talk about that game.
Yeah.
And it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's very good. Anyways, I don't really think there's much to say about that. I just love the game so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Matherin, what's yours?
My
Your
first
first
one is probably something you'd agree with too, because we've talked about it before. But it's Fallout 4. I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like it's overrated and underrated at the same time with like two different audiences. And there's a lot of mechanics in that game that I just had so much fun with, and then I feel like are underrated. And some of those bad stuff I just think is a little overrated, you know. Like not, I mean like aspects of the game which are like not as good as other aspects that people kind of hype up, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah, there's just some things like that I feel like are a little overrated, and I just feel like other Fallout games did do better, but the strengths of Fallout 4 are just kind of that you can make this world your playground and build in it and stuff and whatnot. Like I thought that was a lot of fun. Even if I didn't think like everything about it is perfect, I still had like a lot of enjoyment out of it. Not to mention how just like much more colorful it is, and just like full of life it is than other installations in the series. Like I just had a lot, especially with the DLCs too. I thought that those were really good. So
I couldn't really get into that game. I don't know. The only thing that like appeased that I liked about the game was like the building aspect.
yeah,
And like you could build your own settlements. That seemed fun.
I got really into that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like trying to get all the materials to do that seemed really tedious, and
Yeah, it does get pretty tedious. Yeah.
so yeah, I didn't really.
Yeah, I had a lot
Too
of fun
much.
with that. That was actually one on my list that I think people crap on a little too much. Just
Yeah.
because I said this last week, but it's not really a game you go. It's not a game you should go to if you want to like role play as a character.
Yeah.
Because they made your character voice, like your character has a voice, and that like and then it like limits the options of how much they can actually say.
Yeah, yeah. Not
So-
to mention that, like, once you get high enough level, then you just become like everything, like everything. You're just good at every single thing. So,
But
yeah,
I really like the settlement building of it. I like the side characters.
yeah. Oh yeah, they're a lot of fun.
That's a good one. For my next one, I have this game called Kingdom Come
Oh,
Deliverance.
yeah.
So this, I was like, when this game was coming up to release, I was super excited for this game, and like I followed like the developers' videos that they would share, all these things. They made all these promises. It was super exciting, but I didn't get it when it came out, and I heard that like they didn't follow up on a lot of their promises. The game was kind of mad. They promised on these massive battles. There's not really massive battles in this game. So I passed on it, and it didn't take until many years later. I was like, okay, I got the game now. I'm gonna play it, and I sat down and played it. And you get through the opening, and you run away from the town being destroyed. And it's like it's a super, well, I won't say super realistic, but it's a realistic take on like the medieval genre. So there's no magic or dragons or mythical creatures or that. It's somewhat historically accurate.
Yeah.
But playing through the game, it's so much fun, but it's not like a polished game. And
No,
I always have a soft spot for those games that aren't exactly polished. But I just like the start of the game where your character is so pathetic. They don't know anything. They don't know how to read. They don't know. I guess they're blacksmiths, so that you might know a few blacksmith stuff, but you have to like learn all this stuff. And I was playing through the story, and I got to this boss, and I could not beat this boss no matter what I did. And so I left the main story, did some side quests, learned some stuff, learned some moves that your character can do. And then playing that mission again, I got all the way to the boss, and I poked him once, and the screen went black, and I was like, did I break the game? And then I played the cutscene. I had beaten the boss with one poke. And just that level of, like, that's a little ridiculous, but just the character progression that you can have on yourself feels like so satisfying, because you go from a person that knows nothing, and then you have to learn how to read, so you have to do that side quest, and you slowly get better. at like the letters start rearranging, right? So you can actually read the text.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty fun. And then
That's cool.
the side quests are a lot of wacky fun. There's a lot of choices you can do in the game too, so it gives you a lot of freedom in that area.
Yeah.
I didn't play too much of the DLCs, but I do plan on going back to the game just because it was so much dumb fun.
Yeah.
There's like a
Yeah.
tournament you can sign up for and go through that. And some people get mad at you if you win the tournament and they
Yeah,
try and kill you.
The Legend of Black Peter.
Black Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just a lot of stupid fun you could have in that game, and I really liked it. It felt like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's even just watching that, it just looks like a jolly good time.
Yeah.
Even if there was some mechanics that I would probably find annoying-ish, I felt like it was still balanced enough and fair, you know, to where if you just like focused on what you want to do, then you could get it done.
Yeah, and again, the main thing that hooked me was just the way the character worked. Like, you could start off and you see a group of 4 bandits, and you're like, I can't really deal with this. But then later in the game, as you build up your fortune and buy stuff, then you can like, I'll take out this bandit camp, and you start like countering everything, and it's just really satisfying. And I also like how the fast travel system works.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you have this marker on the map that moves, and then sometimes you can encounter something and you can choose to like try and run away from it.
That's
And
cool.
it gives you options to do in the encounters, so I like that. Kingdom Come Deliverance. It didn't deliver on a lot of its promises, so it is disappointing if you were like really excited for the game. But give it a try now, and you might have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally haven't played it, so I can't really say much on it.
You should try it out.
I don't think I'd enjoy it personally.
I do think I want to try it out sometime.
Yeah, it takes a while to get into, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because your character is so useless.
Yeah, literally looks like a sack of potatoes at the beginning.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I guess a disclaimer from my list. Most of my games aren't really underrated. I just think not a lot of people know about it, but the people that have played it, I think
It doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah. So the next game on my list is Death's Door,
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
which it's an indie game, but I really like it. It's on Game Pass, I think, and I think it was received pretty well, right? So-
I think it was nominated for an award at the
Yeah.
Game Awards. I don't remember if it won.
Yeah, but I really like the game, and I think more people should play it. It's just a fun, kind of Metroidvania kind of thing. Not really, I don't know, but it's top down. You play as a little crow guy,
Yeah.
go around. It's a lot of fun collecting the abilities. I love those kind of games,
Yeah.
Metroidvania kind of games. I really need to play some the other night, or whatever it's called. But yeah, I love the art design. I love the story.
Yeah, I played like 2 seconds of it.
You got to play more of it.
Yeah.
I just kind of did the main path on it, and
I 100%ed it.
I think that game. That game. I wish the bosses were harder. I never had trouble with any of the bosses,
Yeah, that's
except
true.
maybe the final boss. But like most of them, I would like getting to them is a little difficult. But then when I got to them, I could beat the bosses without getting hit a lot of the times. I just wish the bosses were a little more like Dark Souls-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that point, but I don't know. But yeah, I just love the art design mostly, and
Yeah.
the gameplay is really fun. Yeah, but most of the difficulty does come from like the little arenas that happen when like multiple enemies are attacking you.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
yeah, I had a lot of fun with that game,
Yeah, it was very.
and it's on
tedious.
Game Pass.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was very tedious to 100% though, because you had to go and get the seeds and put in every single pot to get the
I
job done.
don't have time for that. I'm okay with. All right.
And it wasn't really worth it in the end. So.
Oh.
Well, it's just
Oh.
the reward you get, but it's
Oh,
still a
man.
great game.
Yeah.
Right. I guess for my next one would probably be Armello.
Oh.
I just feel like it had a pretty big community, and that community is just kind of dwindling down now.
Yeah.
And there's just so many fun aspects of that game if you like learn how to play it and stuff and really get into it. It's just like such a fun strategy game, and it's like against your friends and stuff. And
Yeah, it is really fun.
Yeah, and like when you're especially when you're playing against your friends, playing mind games with them sometimes, it's just like the most fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And if anything can speak of like how much fun I had in it, it's probably the 400 hours that I put into it. I've just 100%ed it too. I had a lot of fun with it, and I still probably will. What I do want for it to be okay, sorry. Let me rephrase this. What I do want it to be more like popular for is mainly just so that they can start like adding more to the game. Because I feel like the last update was like the Dragon Clan or whatever.
That was about last big one.
Yeah, that was the last
When was
big
that
one.
released?
It was like 2 years ago
Yeah, I
or
don't know if
something.
they
It
still
was-
are they still supporting the game?
Yeah, I mean
They are.
Yeah,
I do think they're working on other projects.
Yeah, they put crossplay in recently. But yeah, they brought in like that big DLC like 2 years ago. I just want them to keep adding stuff,
Yeah.
more things to it. You know?
Yeah, I wish I would have thought of that for my list because that's a good one.
Yeah, it's
It's a very good game.
yeah. I don't know. I really want more of it, and their little like the League of Geeks sort of that makes it. I feel like it's just like such a small company, and this game deserves to more love than
Yeah.
what it's getting right now. So
I didn't like it. Not to
Yeah.
put a boot in that whole beautiful love letter to the game, but I didn't get into it. I don't think I had the attention span for that game. I don't know.
yeah, it does require a lot of
It
patience.
just
yeah.
it just felt like, oh, it's my turn. I'm gonna move, and then I have to wait and wait until it's my turn again. And then, meanwhile, it feels like the whole game's just kind of on a timer. And then
Yeah.
as it gets down, then it's just whoever's luckiest can like land the final blow on the king, and that's who wins.
Yeah, it's sometimes it can be like that. It can just be straight up luck because there's a lot of RNG in it.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of just like strategy and planning that you have to do even when it's not your turn. That's kind of like is like subverted and just kind of what's the word for it? You know?
Well, I guess it fills in that
Yeah.
dead space.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
But
It's a very like board game type esque
yeah,
thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't know what the public really thinks of that game. It's a smaller game, I think.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah. There's like
pretty small.
there's like a mobile version of it. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll say no. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, I think that's good.
All right. Then I'll move on to my next one on my list is Dark Souls 2.
Oh.
So I know you guys haven't played Dark Souls, so
I want
I'll-
to get into Souls type games though.
I
They
li-
look like fun.
Yeah, I like them. But so Dark Souls 2 is kind of regarded as like the bad one of the Dark Souls games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I played the Scholar Sin edition. I don't know, when Dark Souls 2 was first released, I think it had a lot more problems. So this is coming from someone who's just played the Scholar of the First Sin. I think that's what it's called. But I played I wanted to play Elden Ring, but I went back and played like some Bloodborne and Dark Souls just to ready myself for Elden Ring. So I played the first Dark Souls, didn't really like it that much, didn't get into it. And I played the second one, and I thought it was a lot more fun. That's a little controversial, but I didn't really like the first Dark Souls. I think the second one, there are some janky moments with the combat, like the rolling's really weird because sometimes enemies hit you when it doesn't look like they should.
That's
But-
the most frustrating.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 1 had this thing where you like couldn't get fast travel until you beat these couple bosses, and I didn't like that. And Dark Souls 2 has like the hub world immediately, and it's such a pleasant hub world that's nice to go back to. And
Yeah.
I just liked the world of that more, and the gameplay felt a little smoother. It didn't feel like I was being punished for wearing heavier armor, because in Dark Souls 1, if you wear anything heavier than like a sock, you roll so slow.
Oh no.
So
Oh, gosh.
I like Dark Souls 2 in that aspect more, and I guess I just clicked with me more in Dark Souls 2. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Dark Souls 3 or like Bloodborne, but Dark Souls 2 I would say is probably better than Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
Even though there are some janky aspects with the combat.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dark Souls 2, that
Mhm.
is one I think is a little
I have to say,
underrated.
After you've been walking me through Bloodborne, I do really enjoy Bloodborne. You know, I've been thinking maybe trying out Dark Souls 3, but
You should. I don't think you'd like Dark Souls 1 and maybe not even 2.
Yeah, I was thinking of
Yeah.
just starting on 3.
But
Yeah,
3
yeah.
is a masterpiece.
Yeah, I was just gonna start with 3.
But this isn't about those type of games. We're talking about games that need a little more love. So
Yeah,
what's your next
sorry.
one on your list, Tyler?
My next one, hold on. My next one is a little game called Fury.
Oh yeah, I played it.
Yeah, you introduced it to me again. You introduced me to a lot of games. But yeah, it's like a boss rush type game. It was really difficult for me when I played it, but
You beat it though, right?
I did, yes. And it was very nice. I usually don't like that kind of style, that like 3D kind of thing. Death's Door did it nice because it was a little bit more, not stylized, but like darker. But Fury, I really liked just all the boss fights and all the different, and just the story. Really, it's just really shocking at the ending, and yeah, it's just a cool game. Is how I describe it.
Yeah, I'm sure I think that game is regarded really well. I guess more people should talk about it.
Yeah, that's that's what I describe underrated as. More people should talk about it.
More people should rate the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
More people should play it.
Yeah, I played that so long ago on my Switch, but yeah, that's a really fun game, and it's not until the end when you realize like what's the story actually about.
Yeah,
and it's kind of beautiful and sad.
Yeah,
but that was a really fun game, and there's a lot you can do in it even after you complete the game. But I didn't really do much of that. What's your next one, Matherin?
My next one is Worms Ultimate Mayhem. I feel like just the whole Worms franchise as a whole is a bit underrated, if I'm being honest. Maybe not in like some places, but but if there was like one game out of those that I feel like is severely underrated, it is Worms Ultimate Mayhem.
I definitely feel like people prefer the 2D Worms games.
Yeah, which like I get, but at the same time I feel like it's so strange just because of how well Worms Ultimate Mayhem did in like a 3D landscape, with what the weapon selection and everything that you can do, just all the crazy things that you can do in it. And I thought that the maps were really well designed too. Like they're a lot of fun for the most part. And they just added a bunch of new mechanics that I thought were interesting, and it was just really fun. Like I don't see how anyone couldn't get into it. Yeah. Especially if you're playing with friends, but I guess when you're playing Worms, that's really the only way to do it. So
yeah, you gotta play with friends when you're playing with Worms.
Yeah.
When you're playing with Worms, you gotta play with friends.
Yeah. Like I had started off on 2D Worm games, like the original, or not the original, but the remake Worms, like just called Worms, I think. And then that was on the PS3, and then I played Worms 2 Armageddon on the PS3 as well. And then eventually sometime I remember us getting Ultimate Mayhem on the Xbox, like the original Xbox. And it was like when we were coming back to playing a bit of the Xbox, like on Battlefront and stuff and whatnot. And we were just having a blast with that. And like, it was just a lot of fun to have friends over with, and
Yeah, I wonder what the public reception is of that game, because I have no idea.
Yeah. I just never thought it was a good reception,
I couldn't say.
Yeah.
If my list doesn't say, I don't really keep up with the public reception.
Yeah.
I have a hard time, at least. I shouldn't say. Don't keep
Most of mine are pretty publicly discouraged.
Yeah. That's all I really have to say about Worms.
Cool. I really like that Worms game. I still play it today.
Oh yeah.
But the next one on my list is kind of similar to DMC, but Arkham Origins, I think, also gets a little too much hate. I guess I have a soft spot for games that are being made by a different company while the main company of the series works on on the next game.
Yeah.
Because DMC made by Ninja Theory, taking over for Capcom, and Arkham Origins was made by, was it Warner Brothers Montreal, I believe, instead of the Rocksteady.
Yeah.
But Arkham Origins, a little disclaimer, I haven't played it in a long time. I was really young, but I think it was the first Arkham game I played, because we thought, Arkham Origins, that's obviously the first one. But I think the boss fights in that game are really good, and maybe better than some of the Arkham City, because I remember being a little disappointed by the Arkham City boss fights, because most of them were you have to do the missions, and it's mostly clues leading up to who the boss is. So in Arkham City you have Deadshot, who you find bodies and you have to like figure out the angle where the shot was taken, and you do that mission over and over. Then you reach Deadshot, and it's not really a boss fight. You just get underneath him and take him down. And that was I was pretty disappointed by that. But
So much
Arkham Origins, the
build-up.
Deadshot boss fight I like a lot more, even though he's kind of just a powered up like normal enemy. I remember like actually like, oh man, I don't know if I could beat this guys. And then the Deathstroke boss fight, a lot of people love. I also love it. I feel like more people are coming around to this game, maybe because people that grew up on it are like, guys, no, it's really good. The Deathstroke boss fight I think is good. It's a lot of quick time events, but it's still like it feels fast and intense. And I also just like the relationship they have between Joker and Batman. Like it's really their origins and how they bounce off each other and like what their whole dynamic is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
gosh, yeah.
and I think it explored that aspect really well. But yeah, that's all I'll say about Origins. 'Cause I'll have to replay it sometime. But
Yeah.
I have to say that the Arkham games kind of meshed together in my mind, but that
Yeah.
Deathstroke boss fight was definitely memorable.
also the Firefly boss fight on the bridge. I think the world is a little empty though, but that's kind of with all Arkham games.
Yeah.
What's the next one? What's your next one, Tyler?
My next one, okay, this is something that's actually I know is received badly.
Okay, this should be interesting.
Yeah.
I have Bioshock Infinite.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think. That's not one on my list, but that is definitely one I agree with you.
yeah,
I
I
definitely
think
agree with
maybe
that.
because most people started with the first Bioshock, and that's how they fell in love with the
Well,
franchise.
The game is, and it was they also didn't deliver on a lot of promises.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't there for that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I started with Bioshock 3 and then played Bioshock 1 and 2. So maybe that's the reason why I like it more than other people. But I don't know, it's just like a fun, I just like the atmosphere a lot more, the city in the sky, you know. It's just a different take.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot wackier.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just really enjoy it. I don't really like the claustrophobic horror that the first two are, more so the first one.
Mm.
That's just not kind of like the horror that I like. It just feels too restricting. And I like kind of the wackiness of Bioshock Infinite a lot more.
I definitely enjoy it. I played Bioshock. I got the remastered collection or whatever it's called on the Xbox One. So I played 1, 2, and then Infinite. They're all pretty good in my opinion, but Infinite is definitely felt, I don't know, I'm glad it went more actiony, which is weird because I love survival horror-esque, but I don't know. The
Yeah.
first two didn't really feel like survival horror to me. It
Yeah,
just
yeah,
felt like a
they
shooter
didn't.
in a dark place.
Yeah, with like some creepy aspects, which I enjoyed. You
Yeah.
know, with all the different enemy types too. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I guess like the first one for its twist,
Mhm.
and then the second one, it's kind of wholesome, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sad, but the third one I like a lot more. I like the story. There's not a whole lot of freedom that they like. Yeah, they promised that you were going to be able to do a lot more different endings, and I think, and also that what's the bird called?
The songbird.
Songbird. Yeah,
Songbird,
Songbird was
yeah.
going to be like actively hunting you throughout the game.
Oh yeah.
It's all scripted
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the release, but I still think it's really fun. And when Elizabeth is her name, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when like throws you stuff and you get to catch it.
Yeah,
It's just so much fun just playing through that
Yeah.
game.
And then the moments with the songbird too are just really cool.
Yeah, I really like Songbird.
Yeah.
And then you get to zip line around
Oh my
places, and
gosh,
the
it's
police
so much
officers
fun.
chase you around.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
much fun.
Just a lot of high adrenaline action.
Which is my favorite
and
part of it.
And I like the story, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well,
I like it.
Yeah,
It made sense to me, I guess. But
if
Mhm.
you can buy it, but yeah, yeah, I really like it. It's my favorite Bioshock game. The other two are good, but I just
Yeah.
think Bioshock Infinite is more my speed.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What's the next one on your list, Matherin?
Well, going off of Bioshock Infinite, I feel like Bioshock 2 is a pretty underrated game, in my genuine opinion. Mainly just in that when you think of Bioshock, you're thinking of a lot of things from the first one, which is understandable, it being a staple, game, and introducing a lot of new things into the gaming industry and whatnot. And that big old twist. But at Bioshock 2, I felt like everything that they added was just so much fun. Like, it's everything that you would want out of like just being a big daddy, which I know sounds weird, but yeah, it's just like I thought that the combat in it was a lot more fun than the first one, with your big old drill and whatnot, and just like when you're defending the little sister and stuff, and when the big sister comes, that's always a fun fight. And yeah, I thought the story was interesting too. Wasn't as like twisty and, you know, as the first one. It didn't have like the big old twist or anything. It was just kind of like, you know, you're growing about this, decide good or bad, and yeah.
Yeah, it was cool how they decided
The sisters will learn from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool how they decided to like take a twist on the world and you actually being a big daddy.
Yeah, I also think that might take away from some of it, because like the first one you're just a dude, but in the second one you're like big daddy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just feels like you're losing a sense of like your fragile self when you're a big daddy. I don't know. I don't remember a lot of the Bioshock games. I don't know if the second one was like hated or disregarded.
I don't think it was so much hated as it was just kind of forgotten. I think I could be very wrong, but I don't know. I feel like in regards to what you just said about the first one and the second one, they kind of balanced that out with just the sheer amount of enemies that they're throwing at you compared to the first one, mixed with you're fighting like multiple big daddies at once, and then the big sisters too. Could also like counter how powerful you actually are, because you are pretty powerful. But yeah.
I like those games.
Yeah.
There's a fourth one coming out or something. Maybe Netflix is doing a show. Who knows?
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, gosh.
But moving on my list.
Haven't they been coming out with the show for like ever now?
I think it's been in production for a while.
Yeah.
It's too late now.
Anyways.
But on my list, the next one is a game called Mad Max.
Oh.
So this is not like, I think I don't know how I heard about this game. I just heard, I think there's a couple of videos I watched people saying, you know what, this game isn't as bad, and you know what, they're right. So I think this game gets kind of muddled. I wonder when the movie came out and when the game came out, because I imagine like people just saw Mad Max and just thought, oh, that's a terrible movie tie-in video game.
Yeah.
So I think people were just like, I'm not getting that because it's just a movie tie-in, and we know how bad all those are. But it's actually pretty fun and a little goofy too. I guess the whole car aspect is really cool. How you can customize just your car and drive around this wasteland and like race people, ram into people. They have their own weapons. I always just love that gameplay aspect of it. The open world's like fine, you know. It's a little generic the way the open world works, but it's if you guys want like a laid back fun time, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that game out. Actually,
and it's sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I love the Mad Max movies and I love the world, or I love Mad Max Fury Road. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, no, it looks pretty goofy at parts, but you know, just with the whole post-apocalyptic wasteland that you're in, you know, and how everything's just centered around cars. I thought that was just, you know, it's just like what you said, just pure fun.
Yeah,
and it's pure not fully relaxing, but you know.
Yeah, and it's just, what was I had a point I was gonna say, but yeah, it's just broken enough that it's not like, wow, this game is glitched to hell. It's just some funny stuff happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mad Max, I think it's on the Xbox One and the PS4, but it's fun time. What's the next one on your list, Tyler?
It's not that big of a deal. It's more of just adding to the after hype of it, because people recognize it now and stuff, but no one can play it now. I have Titanfall 2, which is just adding on to everyone, you know, wants it back. All the Titanfall fans. Like, I wish they would explore the world a bit more, and I know they are with Apex.
Yeah.
But like, I want to go back to the Titan Age and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? That's like one of the things I want to see most in Apex, which I know that they're not going to add, but like some Titans. It's so cool.
You know? But yeah, I'm just adding on to the after hype. All of it.
Because Titanfall 2 got freaking, like, it was like muddled in between the Call of Duty game got released and I think Battlefield something.
Yeah. It had a terrible release date, but I feel like the reason it's still alive today is because there were people that recognized its like mechanical, like the mechanics in it were just genius. Like, and it's just so much fun to play in that and just like have your own playground with grunts and all these things, and Titans flying around, and you can still go up against the Titans.
Yeah, it's just a fun, fast-paced shooter.
It's one of the best FPS shooters, multiplayer shooters, and it's just an emphasis on speed and power.
Yeah.
And the campaign has no right being that good.
Oh my god,
really
that is
doesn't.
in my genuine opinion, that is my the best shooter campaign.
I think
I think I agree with that.
like multiplayer shooter campaign.
Multiplayer shooter campaign. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is so much.
But yeah, there's
fun.
already been so much said about the game now. So
It's just funny that the first one didn't have barely had a campaign, and then the second game was like, I guess we'll add a campaign and we'll make one of the best campaigns you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just I appreciate the diversity in the missions and the creativity between the Titan and your player, and
Oh my gosh, yeah.
very entertaining.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What's the next one on your list, Matherin?
Probably a game that you guys may have heard of, but I'm sure no one else has, called Folklore Hunter.
Oh.
That is, it's not even like officially out yet. It's still in like its alpha. It's been its alpha for a while, but it is like just following the creator and how he goes through the game with his community and how much they enjoy it. This small little community, you know, like it has the potential of becoming a really great horror game. And if it did get more love, then it would definitely become that. But because it's not as recognized and it's so small, you know, then it's just kind of like a very, very slow release.
It started as just like one guy making it. I think when we started playing it, it was just one guy.
When we started, it's more people now.
Yeah, it is.
Nice, yeah. I
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I still can't wait for it takes a while, but every time there's a new update or like a new hunt, you know, it's always fun to explore.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun with that, with Michael too, who easily gets scared of horror games. It's always fun to have him around there.
Yeah.
And it's just a great game.
Yeah, I've been tempted to buy it. Yeah, if you want to support a small little game, Folklore Hunter on Steam.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's especially a lot of fun with friends and stuff.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's yeah. I mean, you can play it alone, and it'll definitely add to the fear factor of that game.
Yeah.
But playing it with friends is a lot of fun too.
All right. For my next one, I'm going to say Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Oh, I should have put that on my list.
Because I like most people love Black Flag. I could also throw in like Assassin's Creed Rogue is a little underrated, even though it's copy and paste. Like almost the gameplay is exactly from Black Flag.
Yeah.
I think it does little things better. But Syndicate, I think I either people don't talk about it enough, or I just think it's not as well remembered, and maybe it's just in that era of when people were starting to realize the Assassin's Creed games are just kind of going to be the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
So they didn't pay much mind to it, or they don't even remember it.
Yeah.
I just think Syndicate, the brother sister main characters, I thought they were fine, but just the setting of like the London and the Industrial Revolution and your base is a train and there's carriages you can ride.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really interesting place to put your assassin-based game around. You know, it's a fun playground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's personally my favorite era that they've done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just going throughout time.
I don't play the newer Assassin's Creed games. I didn't play like the first couple ones. I've just played Revolution up to Syndicate. I think Unit. I skipped Unit.
Revolution was the American Revolutionary War one.
No. It was with Ezio and something like that.
Yeah, I played the one that took place. I took up only like 2 seconds of it, but I played the one that took place during the American Revolutionary War.
I think that's Assassin's Creed 3, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that one I remember. The little I played of it, it was incredibly boring.
Yeah.
Like I was doing this mission and like I just had this like firing squad to go behind like my carriage or whatever, and then all that I would do is signal them when to fire at people. And I'd just say a word, and he says it all goofy and dumb-like, and then I can't even replicate it, but then they fire at them, and the carriage keeps going on very slowly. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it's painful to play.
But yeah, I like Syndicate just for, all the little gameplay changes.
Yeah.
It has a certain charm to it that I really
And
like.
the fashion.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the fashion.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And there's that DLC where you can play as the sister and fight Jack the Ripper, and that's fun.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, but I think like the only strength that game has to cater to me is just like the time era, and just like that charm around it is the only reason why I like it more than the other Assassin's.
If you like Sherlock Holmes, you'll like it.
Yeah. It's strange to me that it's like that there's the most enjoyment to be had out of something like that takes place in an environment like that, which like, when you're explaining it to me now, it does make sense. But when I think of London, I think of just dirty, gross, gray, just like boring and stuff. But there's like so much interesting things that happened in that time period that they utilized in that game from what it seems. So that starts to make sense why it was more fun. But that's probably also why it's overlooked at the same time too. It's just because people think like, it's just doesn't seem.
It's
that
just
fun.
another Assassin's Creed.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably play Valhalla when it gets added to the new PlayStation thing. If that is being added.
I think it is. I'm pretty much done with the Assassin's Creed franchise, but I like that one.
Yeah.
Do you have a next one on your list, Tyler?
No, I don't. That was it. I had a hard time going up with my list. Sorry.
Oh my goodness, Matherin, do you got any more?
I told you 5, and that was 5.
I'm not keeping count.
All right, I do have some more. Don't look at my phone. The next one that I was going to mention is one that I recently got into with my friends called Deep Rock Galactic.
Is that night? No.
No, it's it's like
game
it's like where you play as dwarves set in the future, and you're part of this mining company that goes to a planet, like a different planet, and just mines there, and has to say, and you have to like fight aliens and get like a certain amount of like this material and stuff. I didn't know what to expect going into that game, but that is one of the most fun co-op games like out there, and I'm dead serious about that. Like they nailed just like the atmosphere of everything. When you're out of a game, there's this just central hub, which is just so much fun because it's so goofy and just like exactly what you would expect a dwarven miner to be like outside of his work, which is just like drinking with his boys and getting drunk and just kicking stuff around, and it's just so like goofy and fun. And it just nails like every aspect of just dwarves. And then when you're like actually in the game, it gets intense, but it's super fun just because of everything that's happening and everything that you can do. And like it's mining, which sounds like kind of when you think about but in this game they make it just like so much fun to do. It's just like there's all the different classes of dwarves that you can be. And then you just have to like fend off the aliens, and you have to get back to your dropship in a certain amount of time when you're done collecting stuff while a swarm of alien comes to you. That it is just so much fun to just get into with your friends and just like like even if you're not doing too good on it, it's still fun.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty wacky.
Yeah, it's pretty wacky, and I just couldn't recommend it enough, honestly. Yeah, one of those indie games that deserves more love,
Yeah. I can't say much about it. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Except the title and that there's dwarves.
Yeah. You've probably heard the title a lot. Yeah.
I guess I'll say the next one on my list. Infamous Second Son. Tyler, that's probably one you wanted to put on your list, but didn't think of. Or did you not love it that much?
It was fine. It was okay.
Yeah.
Not something I'd put on the list, I don't think.
It feels very like, and it's Sucker Punch, but it feels very much like a test run for the Marvel Spider-Man on PS4.
Yeah.
Just because it's similar to that. And I think the Infamous Second Son, the gameplay is so much fun. I think the story's not very good. Because compared to for the first two Infamous games, it's just, I played Second Son first. And then I played the first two Infamous. And those games have the first two Infamous has such an insane story. It's so comic booky, and then Second Son, you're fighting just like this business lady, It's
Yeah.
really lame, and
little
the story's
bit, yeah.
really short. But I really liked the gameplay to that game, and I played the evil ending and or the evil and the good ending, and just going like running around the world, like all the different powers you can have was such a good idea, and I love all that. And I think think the gameplay is super fun and fluid, and I would love to see like Sucker Punch make like a licensed superhero game.
Yeah, no, from what I saw, the powers that they chose were like just so strange and out there. Like I couldn't help but like not like, but like them, not like them, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in the first Infamous games, you have like fire, electricity, and frost and stuff. Like those are
Yeah.
pretty basic. In this one, you have smoke, neon, and video game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or static.
Yeah, it's a static or whatever. Which they're so like weird and out there, but they kind of work too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. You also get rock at the very end of the game,
like
but
concrete or whatever.
Yeah, concrete.
it's not that exciting though, because you get at the end of the game when you're done.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. I like the dynamic between the two brothers, but like overall, I don't know. I didn't really feel like I didn't really have a drive to explore the world that much.
Yeah, I get the gameplay. I just loved a lot.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like it got a little repetitive after a while.
Yeah, but I mean, you get just all the powers. I liked using all the different. I think Neon was my favorite just because you get to run around the city really fast. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Neon too.
I think that one gets a little forgotten about, and you know,
Mhm.
it's might be a step above the other Infamous games in terms of gameplay.
I haven't played the other ones, so I can't say. But
Yeah.
I just think they were a little aged, especially the first one.
Yeah.
yeah.
The second one's pretty good. But yeah, I guess since Tyler doesn't have any more.
No, I actually do. It's Bloodborne. No.
Oh, excuse me.
So underrated. This is the best game ever. I don't understand
mean,
why you don't like it.
I have like one more underrated game.
What's that last one?
The last one, I think only Ryan has played it with me, is Blaze Blue Central Fiction.
Yeah.
I played 2
Yeah,
seconds of
that
that
one.
one.
Yeah, it's like it's a really fun fighting game. It's by the same people that made Guilty Gear, that franchise.
Oh.
And they made the Dragon Ball Fighters game, I think too.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just like just imagine like every anime trope character. It's like kind of replicated into that game, but they're like slightly different characters, and they just have a cast of all of that, all these wacky, goofy anime trope characters, kind of going against each other with this super complicated backstory, because of course there is,
Yeah.
that you're never gonna find out about. But as for like a fighting game, it's just a lot of fun, and the music like kicks ass.
It does. It's
Like
true.
it is up there with the Guilty Gear Strive soundtrack, which you know I've been listening to a lot recently, kind of.
Mhm.
That's
but
good.
yeah, like I would like actually like get the whole like soundtrack of those games and just listen to them on their own. They're that good.
Yeah. It's a really good soundtrack.
Yeah. and
Is that
just-
the one with Ragnar the Blood Egg?
Yeah, and the best main character name, Ragnar the Blood Edge. It's just so good.
Yeah.
It's like that alone should tell you all that you need to know about that game. It's just so crazy and everything. It's just so much fun.
It's a good fighting game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My list, we already talked about Fallout 4. So I guess I'll just rattle these off since you guys are all done with your
Yeah,
list. I just got a couple more.
Yeah, I apologize. I had so much trouble.
No, it's
So,
fine.
yeah, it's all good. So Dead Space 3, I think it's a little too much hate. This is a game I played way after it released, so I didn't really feel like the micro transactions and stuff that they were
yeah.
kind of push. But I do wish it wasn't so action heavy. It kind of makes it feel like Uncharted, but not as like fun.
Yeah.
So I wish it wasn't so action heavy, but I still think I guess I appreciate that they went different. And Tyler, you might like it a little bit more than Dead Space, the other ones, but
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
'cause I don't. It's just I was playing through this game, and I was like thinking to myself, this isn't that bad. I think the weapon customization is a really cool idea, but it does get a little OP at times.
Yeah.
Because then you could just mow down everything if you get the right materials.
Oh yeah. I bet.
But it was a pretty fun aspect of that. And then there's the 2-player co-op, which that's probably why they made it a little more action focused, like the Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
But like the Resident Evil games, I don't think it's as like good as like when they go the horror aspect. So, but yeah, I just think Dead Space 3 gets kicked around a little bit. For my next one, I think Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have this one.
It's an Xbox exclusive made by Insomniac, great game developers. We all know that by now.
Yeah.
And this one gets like no recognition. And
strange.
It's like an Xbox exclusive that doesn't get talked about at all. I think it just might have had a terrible release, and it's really goofy.
Yeah.
It's like think like Borderlands, but more, I guess, like comic booky kind of.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's a lot of stupid fun. I didn't do like a lot of the side stuff but I had a really fun time with the story. And you could tell playing that game that Insomniac were the perfect choice to make a Spider-Man game, because I guess like Second Son, it feels like a test demo for a Spider-Man game, just with the movement and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of wacky fun. And you'll kind of just be laughing to yourself playing the game.
Yeah.
And then the last one on my list, I think you can both agree, is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
This game gets kind of gets hated a lot because it has advanced movement. Oh no!
Oh, does it?
I didn't know me.
I would have put it on my list if I knew it got hated.
Yeah, because
Yeah, no, I heavily agree with that.
It's my favorite Call of Duty.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
I just like the movement, and I like how it's not too much like weird mechanics like Advanced Warfare. I like that. We'll just make you be able to boost a little bit and fly around the map.
Yeah.
It's not just like all these weird little things they added.
Yeah.
And I just think it's I love all the maps. I love the guns feel really solid, but mainly the movement is what keeps me playing that game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot when I played it.
Yeah. We'd play it all the time together. It was that much fun. Yeah.
But yeah, those are our lists for our nostalgic, or not nostalgic,
just underrated
games.
There's nostalgia in there.
There's some nostalgia. Yeah. Maybe we're blinded by nostalgia for some of these games, but I think most of my games I played recently, and I was like, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with that, if you guys have any games you think are underrated or you disagree with that, you can let us know. But we're gonna close this off with this whole podcast episode was kind of just game recommendations. But we're gonna leave you with a game recommendation. And this week it's Matherin's turn to recommend a game.
What you got for us?
But we also recommend all the games we just listed. So yeah,
I recommend all the games I listed.
Yeah, I recommend everything except Armello.
Okay.
I specifically recommend Armello.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to think on this a little bit right now, because there's a lot of games and I just want to recommend one that we already said. I guess Apex Legends.
Yeah,
let's go.
New season just got released.
Yeah, I know it's like the new game or whatever, newer. It's been out for a bit now, but that's like one of the go-to games now, just if you want to have fun with your friends. And like Tyler was saying about the Titanfall 2, it does expand a lot more on the Titanfall universe, which I really enjoy that they did that.
Yeah.
I really like that. So
I like that it's keeping it alive.
It's keeping it alive. Yeah. So
it's tugging it along.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of fun though.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I guess that will close us out today. Thank you so much for listening. We have an email, checkpointcornerpod@gmail.com, if you want to send us any comments on things you disagree with.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening again, and we'll see you next week. We don't know what the topic will be. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.
Goodbye.